The ayes to the right, 309. The noes to the left, 305. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. A lock.
The 4 votes dealt a big enough blow to Theresa May, hours before she heads to Brussels for an EU summit. Lawmakers from her own party rebelled against her, showing deep divisions that continue to hamper her chances of advancing Brexit plans. The defeat at home is set to overshadow her agenda in Brussels, but she's expected to urge EU ministers to push ahead with beginning the second phase of Brexit talks on Friday, which will tackle future trade relations.
They're on course to deliver on Brexit. And remember last week, President Juncker said that sufficient progress had been made to move on to phase 2 of our negotiations. Yesterday, the European Parliament overwhelmingly voted to accept that recommendation too, and I'm looking forward to discussing that deep and special partnership for the future.
The summit will have EU leaders review the progress they've made with Britain on consensus reached last week. Both parties have agreed to draw up a so-called divorce bill, which could cost more than $55 billion. They've agreed on guaranteeing citizenship rights for both EU and British citizens post-Brexit. And Britain has pledged to avoid a hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. With the support of the EU Parliament, EU leaders are widely expected to approve Phase 2 talks. European Council President Donald Tusk has urged the bloc to stay united through the negotiations.
I have no doubts that the real test of our unity will be the second phase of the Brexit talks.
After the summit, Theresa May will return to London to a meeting with senior ministers to discuss the viability of keeping close ties to the European Union after Brexit. She's expected to face another round of resistance in Parliament as she puts the date and time of departure into a bill. Meanwhile, the EU has expressed its willingness to begin talks on a transition period for Britain after March 2019. Those talks could come as soon as next month. As the Brexit clock continues to tick, Theresa May now has to work on a rushed timetable to make things work in her favour. Laila Humairah, TRT World.
Now for more, let's bring in our Europe correspondent, Simon McGregor-Wood, joining us from the summit in Brussels. Simon, thanks so much for joining us. Now, what happened? Everything was going so well this time last week.
Yes, this was a summit, Maria, that Theresa May had every right 48 hours ago to look forward to. The tough, contentious talking of the summer, completing phase 1, the so-called divorce terms of the Brexit had been concluded. A joint report was going to be presented to the 27 EU leaders with the recommendation that they greenlight the next phase, transition and talks about the future trading relationship. But lo and behold, on Wednesday night, a dagger blow from 12 of her own Conservative MPs voting against her, insisting that any deal she eventually negotiates with the EU leaders come March 2019, Parliament has to have a legal right to say yay or nay.
OK.
And really difficult, and a reminder, if any was needed, just how tenuous her grasp on power is.
Absolutely, tenuous indeed. Now, Simon, this dagger blow that you're talking about, does it change anything really in the Brexit negotiations?
It's not clear. It's a big symbolic defeat. It reminds everyone how weak she is as a negotiating partner. But does it mean that whatever deal is cooked up between the UK and the EU, which is presented to the UK Parliament at some point approaching March 2019, will they actually vote it down? Because people here today have reminded us that the deal will be the deal. And if you vote against it in the UK Parliament, it's not like you're going to get a new deal. It's not like negotiations will start the following day. So it's either the deal or no deal. So that should really focus people's minds. So it's not really clear what technical influence it will have on the negotiations that follow.
OK, Simon, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there. But thanks so much for that update. That was Simon McGregor-Wood live for us in the summit in Brussels.